Friends, welcome to the last report. It is your brother, Ambassador Steve, once again, and we're going to cut through the noise and bring sense to what is happening across the world right now. There's a lot of confusion. People are asking, oh, now what is next? What shall we do? And confusion is reigning under the sun at the moment. And we would love to bring truth and cut through the noise and bring sense to what is happening so that everything now becomes crystal clear. Now, I wanted to bring your attention to something very special, and it is all about Israel. Like in the other particular video, I showed you the significance of Israel towards the end of time. And so most of activities will actually center on Israel. So it's a very important nation at the moment that we shall be looking at again and again, because all the things that we will be seeking to unravel are actually surrounding Jerusalem. And so today I wanted to bring to your attention something that is away from the missiles, away from the fighter jets, away from the war. And then you really see now where we are headed, because we really need to get sense. Because if we will be confused and we fall into the confusion that the enemy is bringing, so that we are unable to sift through the truth and know where the lies are and where the truth is, which is very, very significant. Now, what Israel is having at the moment is not just the war, because according to the rabbis of Jerusalem, they are actually predicting that we are in the season when the Messiah should come. Now, this one here. So we are going to have a lot of trouble, but also a lot of confusion, because like I told you sometimes back, we had another guy called Al-Mahdi, this fella here, Al-Mahdi. Now, the battle now is to sift the truth from lies, because now you really must go through the scriptures at the moment, because the kind of confusion that is coming in the world will be very difficult for an ordinary person to know where the truth is, because we must now see what is happening. Now, Israel's main agenda at the moment is that they are working towards welcoming their Messiah at the moment. And this is going to be very confusing to the world, because while the Muslim community are waiting for the Al-Mahdi, this one will be their 12th Imam and is going to be the last of the Imams who will set a rule for 7 years. Then on the other side, Israel is fighting to make sure to hasten, actually the best word is to hasten the arrival of their Messiah. So we are at crossroads at the moment, and that is why we need to cut through the noise and bring sense to what is happening in the world today. Now, as we are going to have Israel working towards hastening the coming of the Messiah, and this is their secret, silent agenda, because Israel is seeking for peace, because we're going to get to a point where Israel will be tired of wars, because they have really fought a lot of wars, and wars will be raging until the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. But now, the biggest story, the hidden story behind Israel's movements and military interventions is that they want this guy to come as early as possible. However, what we can deduce from what we are seeing, because I will return to you the other table that I had drawn sometimes back about Daniel, so that you see what Israel is trying to do, so that it becomes much more clearer. You see that? Now, these are the possible timelines that Daniel is giving unto us, because the 70th week of Daniel starts from here. 70th week starts from here. Then, in the first 3.5, then the last 3.5. Now, this is what we call the Great Tribulation, the last one, the Great Tribulation. Now, we are headed towards the last week of Daniel, which is the 70th week. And the rabbis of Jerusalem, they know very well that we are headed towards Jacob's trouble, which is the season of the tribulation. But now, Israel, in their agenda, which of course you heard recently when the president of Russia, Putin, said, I'm going to be much more cautious here because of what's going on right now. There is what we call this one here. See this one here. Now, the president of Russia actually said, yes, the president of Russia recently said that this one they are not forcing this one to come about at the moment, but it is setting itself very well. That is what he said in his own words recently in one of the conferences that he was in. And he said this one is already setting itself. They are not forcing it. It is just coming by itself. Now you can actually see that the powerful nations are aware actually of what is happening, and they are very, very, very much concerned on what to do and what not to do, while Israel understands also that we are almost towards the last week of Daniel, and so the rest, because the rest of coming up to this one here, it means that we are very, very close to the end of time. And therefore, that is why now the blunders that Israel is going to make here will be now to be able to embrace this peace treaty here. It's a very sweet document, which of course I will also share with you in the future how the document looks like and what are the proposals in that particular document and where the Arab nations actually stand in that particular document. And so therefore it will be much more clearer. So this one here is said to be setting now, and he said there is nothing we can do about it. So now the rest, which is now the secret agenda of Israel, is actually to hasten this process here. But according to the scriptures also, which is very clear, according to Daniel, is that though we are close to the last week of Daniel, but one thing that we must also know is that these wars, some of them have been fought out of time and some are within time. But Christians should not be anxious, neither should they be worried, because that is what Jesus is saying, that you should not be alarmed when you see these things, because these things will have to happen and they must come to pass. So you shouldn't be worried. For those people who have asked a lot of questions concerning what is happening, like I said in the other video, this is just the beginning, but the end is not yet. We are just in the beginning. A lot is yet to happen. This is just like the beginning of all things. Now, this issue of the Messiah to the people of Israel, especially the leadership of Israel, and a section of the rabbis, is that they are saying this is the season when their Messiah should come. And that is where there is going to be a lot. And you saw very well when Israel uh, was actually launched attacks on Iran, Hezbollah, which is a very key proxy uh, group for Iran, they said they're not going to confront Israel because Israel may destroy them. And so, therefore, they were keeping off from this particular war uh, uh, because of the air superiority that Israel now has at a global stage. So, this is something that we are also going to watch. Now, this issue of the time towards the 70th week, because Judaism, the people of Judaism, have gone through the Old Testament and they can actually sense from the scriptures that we are much more closer. But this guy who is coming with this particular thing here, what he's going to do is going to destroy the people of Israel through craft and peace. And so this is a very important issue that we must now recognize because we are moving very close to these particular things here. But you shouldn't be alarmed. Away from the wars, away from the missiles, away from the fighter jets, what is important to note is that the secret agenda Israel is driving is that they are driving the coming, they're hastening the coming of their Messiah. So this is one thing to look for because they believe that their Messiah will bring peace in Jerusalem and they will live with as a nation without offense, meaning that they will be very, very peaceful. And that is the narrative that actually the leadership of Israel has. And a section of rabbis, very senior rabbis, are also driving the same agenda. And you will hear about the issue of Messiah as we move forward because it's something that is boiling. So we still have a lot of time, not really a lot of time, but we have still time to prepare because according to the scriptures, we are not very far from these things, but the speed at which it is running also, it is not really going to favor the people who are pulling strings to make sure that some certain things happen. But one of the things we must be careful of right now is because we are going to have an economy that will not do well at a global level, and that one will be caused by the issue of oil because when Middle East is in danger, so we are going to have the problem of oil, and therefore inflation will affect the world, and many people will really go through a lot of trouble. And so therefore I want to read for you a portion of scripture which is from the book of Daniel. And I would invite the children of God to really go through the book of Daniel because Daniel is a very important fella when it comes to the issues of the end time. So you will really get a lot of information from the prophet of the living God concerning the book of Daniel. Now, Daniel chapter number 8, verse 25, this is how it reads. And through his policy also, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand. You see, he will even stand against the Lord of Lords, but he will be broken. Now, I want you to see a statement in verse 25 that he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace shall destroy many. Now you see, he will destroy many by peace, because here at the beginning of the 70th week of Daniel, we are going to have what we call the peace accord, which accord will also open other issues that the children of God should look at, when we are trying to unravel the period of the tribulation. So through peace, he is going to destroy many. And you see the destruction that will come in Israel here, at this point here, it will be a destruction that has never been witnessed. Because this is where now the great tribulation begins, and thereafter, because of the abomination that causes desolation, will be at this point. And so we are going to have a lot of trouble, because trouble is ahead. And you can see that all the arrows showing that we are headed towards the 70th week, which is the tribulation. Like I've always maintained, we are not far from the tribulation, but God has given us enough time to prepare. Because as far as the scriptures are concerned, God has given us enough time. Now, there are people who have put cotton wool in their ears that these things they cannot take serious here. But when things will change, and then we are in the middle of this place here, it will be much more chaotic and dangerous. The world will be very dangerous. So I wanted to bring to your attention this particular thing here, so that you see the secret card agenda that Israel is driving, because besides the war, they have a card, and their card is the issue of the Messiah, because without Israel, there will be no man of sin, because the man of sin will set his headquarters in Jerusalem. So it's a very, very important element to look at. Thank you very much. May God bless you abundantly as you continue to go through the scriptures to see what is happening, so that you see, you cut through the noise, and you bring sense to what is happening. Thank you very much, and may God bless you abundantly.